All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me get a drink of this right here. You guys that don't know, I've been sick probably all week. I wouldn't know. I Me and my wife aren't seeing eye to eye, and I'm not going to spread any rumors right now because I think each side should be able to speak for themselves, but we're seeing things differently. And it's when I'm in the moment of it, I'm a little bit pissed off. But when I start to think about it, it's a little bit funny because I believe we're probably both carrying a lot of habits from our parents. Because ultimately, how we act in our marriage, how we uh, how we act with our kids, is all really a reflection of everything that we've been taught in life. Anything outside of that is really just you trying to relearn or understand yourself and maybe change that or break those chains, because that's what we call those when they're things we don't want. They're chains. So me and my wife, we are not seeing eye to eye on a lot of things. We're not seeing eye to eye on my business. We're not seeing eye to eye on how we raise the kids. We're not seeing eye to eye on the time we spend together. And it's like a constant struggle. And I hear from people who are on the verge of getting a divorce. And when they say that, and I guess this would be somewhat of a blessing, when they say, oh man, we're looking at getting divorced, it's kind of over, blah blah blah. When you start thinking that way, that creates almost a situation that's gonna not it's not gonna turn around, right? Because that's the life, or that's the energy that you're speaking into it. And I'm not saying anybody should have to stay together for whatever reason. Hell, me and my wife should probably be divorced too. I don't know. I'm simply just saying that or we are having issues. And I gotta adjust this, I'm sorry. Are having issues just like anybody else. But the thing is, every relationship is extremely unique, and me, by no means am I any type of relationship expert. Trust me. I grew up in a house where I seen anything but relationship. And without missing some of that support from my mother as a child, and not really having a firm understanding about how you're supposed to treat a woman, a lot of things are pretty brand new to me in regards to how I'm supposed to treat my wife, outside of what I believe inside of my faith, and what I believe about treat others as you ought to treat yourself. But the fact of the matter is when we're going at it with one another, we always feel like we're right. And that's the funny part. I feel like I'm right. Dead wrong, but I feel like I'm right. I feel like she should see it my way. She feels like I should see it her way. I feel like you're not listening. You feel like I'm not listening. How does that work? That's what's hilarious. That's what's funny. Because nobody's listening and everybody thinks they're right. And right when you're fighting and when you're having a disagreement, an argument, a falling out, all that matters at that moment is who is right. I don't like the way she does things. She doesn't like the way I do things. But every time I hear somebody say they're getting a divorce, I gotta tell you, I am a great analyst from the outside looking in. I am horrible on the inside trying to think out. Horrible. But every time I hear about it, I gotta say, you loved them before. What happened? And then what always comes to mind, and you can tell when I talk at a certain octave, my voice starts doing something, so I'm going to try to switch it. But you can always tell, and you should always consider this. One, maybe the problem is you. One. Two, what's to say you're going to get it right on your next relationship? What I see too often is people have the ability to quit before they have the ability to try. Trying will get you everything. Quitting will just get you the same shit over and over again. I'm not supposed to cuss. Right? I see more people quitting than trying. And trying has no expiration date. Quitting is a revolving door. So even though I'm saying that currently, as it stands right now, me and my wife are not seeing eye to eye, I have to say, if I quit, am I making this a revolving door, or am I going to try because I know that my results on the other end of trying will make it work? One thing nobody should ever do, and now I'm preaching, but one thing nobody should ever do is allow the other person, or allow what's going on in their relationship to affect their goals, their dreams. At the point where it starts affecting my goals and my dreams and my aspirations, that's the point that I will walk away from anything. See, because I have a unique life and I have a unique calling on my life, and nobody has the right to get in the way of that. So if anything starts to interfere with that, then at that point I will cut loose anything. It doesn't matter. But if it's matters of disagreement and it's matters of just misunderstanding, and it's a matter of, because maybe, you're trying to figure it out, then those things should be tried. They should be worked through. And they shouldn't be quit and give up on. See, you see, I can recognize a natural disaster in a light rain shower. And even though sometimes things start to feel like a heavy thunderstorm, most of the time it's just a very light rain shower. But if they happen often enough, it begins to feel like it'll never end. See, there's one thing that I'm very proud about me and my wife's relationship, is that we have God. And that doesn't make either one of us perfect. Trust me. When somebody say they got God, that don't mean that they walk on a cloud and they shit out rainbows. That's not what that means. What that means is you have a mediator who supersedes and oversees everything, who is omnipresent. You know? And it seems like when things aren't going as planned, then some way, somehow, God always ends up intervening and interceding on behalf of our disagreement, and he will humble one of us. Now, what the future holds, I don't know. I always tell my wife this. I say, wouldn't it be cool if we always had a guaranteed date with one another for the next 50 years on New Year's, right? Just kind of imagine that, envision that inside your mind. Is, the anxiety and the angst behind New Year's coming around, and you got to find that date. You got to find somebody you want to go out with, or you got to go out by yourself, whatever the case may be. Imagine you had somebody, not because you had to, but because you wanted to, and you're able to say, man, I'm so thankful that you are my date. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for that situation. And it's little things like that may bring us back out of something. But we're constantly evolving and growing and fighting and struggling. And the problem is we just don't have nobody else to turn to. Her parents have been divorced and have been through that thing. And then my parents are divorced and they done been through that thing. And hell, I don't know if either one of them could really give us any instructions on what to do, because I look around at them, still trying to figure out if they got it figured out. And so without that, it's really kind of all we got is God. And we know that our kids aren't going to be strong enough to hold us together. We got to be strong enough to hold it together for them. So with all that said, we have differences, but we have God. And then in the end, things start to shake out and balance out. But, those problems, I feel like they keep rearing their head because we're pretty much sometimes stuck in a pattern of our parents and what they did and how they did it. And we get caught up in it. And then ego gets involved, and we don't want to let go. And we don't want to say, I was wrong and I made the mistake. And after so many times, it's just kind of like, and I'm not a marriage counselor by any means. I'm just telling you, hell, me and my wife right now are having issues. But I can step back and say that they're not category 5 tornadoes. Could they be? Yeah. Are they? No. Be thankful for what they are, not what they could be. Because you don't know what they could be. They could be ugly. I done dealt with some husband and wives getting divorced, selling their home. Oh Lord, that's a hot damn mess. You're talking about people who've been together 50 years, 30 years. I mean, they're like, we're sleeping in separate beds. We're sleeping in separate parts of the house. We got separate different lives. We're not a part of each other's life at all. Matter of fact, don't even talk to me. You stay on your part of the house, I'll stay on mine. You keep your box of cereal right here, I'll keep my box of cereal right here. Here's your times to do laundry here. God is my witness. I've seen that from grown-ass adult. I mean, I'm talking about my elders. Like, whoa, man, y'all having issues like that? Why are y'all still together? And here's what they'll tell me. Man, we're old. Don't nobody want us, so we're just gonna struggle it out together. That's what they'd tell me. We just gonna struggle it out together. I'd be like, dude, you done trip, fell, bumped your head on that box of cereal, and lost your damn mind because you gonna spend the last days of your life tied to somebody because you done got comfortable with being dysfunctional versus possibly trying to fix the problem and come to a better solution. So yeah, problems happen. You have an option. You have a choice. You want to give into it. You want to get divorced. Go for it. It happens all the time. The name of the game for me is being able to break those chains of giving up and quitting. I don't care if we have problems and I don't talk to her for a week. At some point in time, the communication will open back up, and the thought and the prayer has to really kind of say, I want to have a better life. I have to start speaking into my relationship what I want. I get this. And even though right now I probably look at my wife crazy upside her damn head right now, like crazy mother, right? But at the end of the day, I got to decide whether or not I want that pattern to keep going. Do I want to quit? Do I want to be involved with anything that is outside of what I believe to be important? And no, I don't. I want greatness in my life. I want greatness in my family's life. I want greatness in my kids' life. And you can't get that by being mediocre. You can't get that by carrying on those same traditions that your mom and your dad did. You can't get that by quitting, giving up. You can't get that by remaining so damn prideful that you're willing to sell the farm in spite of all these different things that we do that are self-destructive behaviors and patterns and mentalities and thinking and doing. You got to quit that at some point, no matter if there is a problem. Or you can always just develop a stronger prayer life. It's really up to you. But I think it's sad when two people love each other and then somewhere in the relationship that love turns to anger, turns from anger to hate, to divorce, or whatever the case, even if it just turns from love to divorce and all the other stuff is really not there, they're just not seeing eye to eye. You got to really kind of, are you considering the fact of when you loved one another and what that felt like and what tied you two together? Are you still doing the same thing you did then? Now, has things changed and you're still doing the same thing that you did when you were courting her that than they are now? So these are all things that need to be in consideration. But I'm not a marriage counselor. This is my opinions, right? We all have problems.